What's up, YouTube? It's time for my 3,000 mile oil change. Well, 3,000 miles since my last oil change. And so I figured I'd do a little how-to video on how to change the oil on a 2005 Yamaha FZ6. I mean, it pretty much applies to every other bike out there, but I know it's nice to see how it's done specifically on your bike if you've never done it before. So you're going to need 3 quarts of oil, and you're going to need an oil filter, and you're going to need the little oil filter tool to get that thing out of there. Usually you could pull it out by hand, but on this bike it's in there, you can't get it out. So here's your oil filler cap, which is where you're going to put oil in. I like to remove it too to let air flow through as the oil drains out. Which is your dipstick, so you can check it when you're done. Right here is your oil drain bolt, and your oil filter's right here. And like I said, you can't really get to it. It's in there, and you can't grab it in a way, and you can get a good grip on it and twist it out. So first thing you're gonna do is start the bike up and let it warm up. So we'll pick up when it's warmed up. All right, so the bike is warmed up now, and so I'm gonna open this up. And actually, I'll just probably leave it in there and just let it stay open, thread it in just a little bit. And then this takes a 17mm socket. I like to take the filter box and use it as like a guide for the oil, because otherwise it kind of just drops out and not anywhere where you want it to. So I got it cracked now. Make sure this is where it needs to be. And then pull out the... Oop. Voila. To let that drain all the way, it'll take a couple minutes, and then we will work on starting to remove the oil filter. Alright guys, well, I got the filter out. It's right there. If you can see, I destroyed my tool trying to get it out of there, because I took it to the dealership to have this one done. As you can see, it's a Yamaha official filter. And I swear that the kid must be new or something, must have been a new guy, because he cranked that thing on there. I could not get that thing off. I had to get it even to start coming off, I had to pinch the filter, which is like a very thin metal, with this, which flattened the two sides, and then I was able to crank it off. So now that I've got it off there, as you can see, I cleaned everything under the, well, here, I'll show it to you. Gotta go get some oil first. Oh, shit. Keep hitting the camera. Maybe you can see, I don't know if you can see, but yeah, there it is. I cleaned it all up, and I'm about to go ahead and put in the new filter. Sorry for my phone. And some guys use old oil. I'm of the type who prefer to use a little bit of the oil from the new oil, because it's going to use a little less than 3 quarts usually. So I just get my finger in there, get a little oil on the glove, go around the rim of this. Can't be too generous with the stuff. And then I don't know if this is necessary for this bike. In fact, it might not even be possible, but we'll find out. I like to prime the filter, which it looks like it took some of that. Yeah, it's trickling down through the filter, it looks like. So I'll top it off and put in a little more. That was probably too much. Now this is gonna make a mess, but oh well. So get it up in there, and oh no, I'm horrible at this. There we go. Cool, what's going on now? And get it going, get it on there. And then, like I said before, these things should only be hand tightened. I mean, as tight as you can get it by hand, but that's it. because then you'll end up, so you don't end up experiencing the horrendous thing that I did. Because I was starting to panic. Especially after I crunched the filter. I was like, oh, well, now I can't run the bike. Get it with a rag so you can get some better grip on it. And it turned like maybe another couple 1/8 of inches or something like that. And then get in here and wipe all this off of my bike. Get all the dirtiness off. Sorry if the camera view sucks. I really don't know how this is going to look. Alright, so there we go. We're done on this side. So use a cleanish funnel. This one looks clean. I think this is what I usually use for this, so should be good. And slowly add 3 quarts of oil. Gets all my oily goodness out of the bottle. Okay, so now we're on this last one. We don't want to put the whole thing in. Put most of it in, but just leave a little bit in the bottom. I would probably leave like 100 milliliters in the bottom. Maybe less. So it's about level, it's about 200, so I'll do a little bit more. Alright, perfect. It's 100 milliliters left in that. I will go ahead and turn the bike on. Start the bike up. And I will let it come up to warm now. And then we'll do another check on the dipstick. Alright, so there we go. The bike is warmed up. See there on the gauge, and also this blinks if it's not up to temp. Now I'll shut the bike off, and we will check the oil level to see if I put in too much or too little. I don't like to fill it up all the way to the max usually, but just below it. So you do not thread this in, you just put it in, butts up, pull it out. So we're about halfway. So we could definitely put the rest of that oil in there, and that will probably put us perfectly where we need to be. So I will go ahead and do that. Dripped a little oil. Start it up and let it cycle that. Also, another thing I like about this bike is it does have an engine oil low light, so if you are low on oil, it'll usually tell you in a couple seconds after being started. I don't really know, I have no experience with that, but I assume, you know, it says it's supposed to do that, so that should be good enough. And then hopefully this is the final check. Bingo. Roll it over so we can actually see that. In fact, actually, I think I put in too much. I overestimated how much it would need to. Yeah, a little too much. Won't hurt it none though. So that is how you change the oil on a 05 Yamaha FZ6, or rather the oil and oil filter. So have a good one.